Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game, a Total War 3 Kingdoms. We start out here, it's late in this campaign, very late indeed. Sun runs 55 for perspective. But we are going to fight a very large battle here against Wei, which is going to, alright, we've got good open terrain there. Both of our armies are like in okay shape. This one, we've got like a little bit of damage on some heroes, but we have mending. So they've got 3 armies. Now what we're seeing, just looking over at those, like, alright, so they got 1 multi-bolt crossbow, they got 2 of them, but what else is there, right? It's a bunch of cavalry, that's kind of scary, but what do they do to us, right? We can just hang out. They got 1 treb, they got a little bit of race stuff, but fundamentally, oh, they've got white horse raiders. Man, Sunrun's retinue is pretty sick. We're gonna go ahead and get to the fight. So what we're thinking is, like, we're not seeing a lot of, like, Defenders of Earth. We're not seeing crossbows. We're not seeing stuff that's going to really hurt me if I don't notice it. We're seeing stuff that's got to fight. And our army matches up very well against things that want to fight. And so our reinforcements are going to come from back here. They attacked me, so we will... Alright, so they will have more coming from over there. That's just fine. We'll be able to deal with that handily enough. So our reinforcements are coming here, and then we'll want to, like, move the trebs up here to cover this, I think. Yeah, because we'll just let them come across an open field. And if they want to fight back here, then protecting this flank will be easy enough. We'll just have a couple of guys in the old tree line. And they'll shoot anyone foolish enough to go around that way. This is going to be great. This is going to be, we'll get to do a clinic. And we're just going to let them come to us up this ridge line, and we're not going to go over this way. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a thing I'll do. Why don't we just put them in the trees here where maybe they won't notice them. Like I had him the wrong way. That would have been fun. Alright, that's the way the icon looks for it. Got it, good. Alright, so we are going to take advantage of the fact that we are the bearer of the weapons of the Empress. Hey, Liam. Oh, I'm doing wonderfully. I'm on vacation. Right now it's like my normal day off, but I don't have to go to work tomorrow or the day after that, and so on, for like another week. So I am very pumped up. I'm very, very excited about this campaign. I already have had a good day playing Hades already, and I'm pumped to finally take over China. This campaign has gone through some fits and starts, some real ups and downs, so it'll be nice to get it here. And of course we're gonna be doing our Jiang hunter harass. This might actually get them shot up. I think they'll be fine. They'll probably be fine. The worst thing they could have would be like the what would it be? Worst thing would be the multi-bolt crossbows getting some free shots in, so that's not that worse of a thing, is it? Alright, so yeah, and we'll have our other army here. We'll be able to row them into position. Yeah, I don't know what these fools are going to be trying to do, but we're going to beat up on it. Okay, it's just trebs here. We're going to go through the woods then. Alright, so they have reinforcements there and here. But But of course, far better than all that is what we've got going on. We don't want him to be in the block with these guys, but we do need them in the same place. Elephant guy, you know, doesn't need to be in the same grouping, but alright. Because if we can just, like, hit like so... This may not be that good. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's gonna hit plenty of things going through the woods, I think. Maybe not. Maybe... You know, no, it looks like it only hit a couple of things. That's too bad. We get surrounded a little bit. They're not gonna be able to stick on us, right? Because we'll just hit the tiger cubs there. And then once that hits him, that's going to slow him down, and it's not going to hit her because she's so graceful. Oh, yeah, beautiful stuff. And then she can get that hit on the White Horse Raiders, and we'll go over there to try to give them a punch. Run and run and run. Alright, well, she caught him, but now I have to remember that we don't want to get her into sustained combat here. Alright, Jiang Hunters to come back to dissuade them. You finally finished 100% on so painful. Well, congratulations. Was it worth it? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me unless it was worth it. It's really rude for me to ask if it wasn't worth it. But I know that you were looking forward to that, I recall, so... To the game coming out, and I know a few people who have spoken of the difficulty, and, you know, even without getting to, I didn't even get to any percent. Simi is here, but he doesn't have his ability that ruins all of my abilities. It's, like, one of the best abilities in the game. I've only heard stories about it. Because they're going to be in such a bad way whenever we get all of this going on. We're just going to ride up here to get this heal. And we're going to do the first one, get everybody rolling. We got 4 heals. We're going to use them now. CME is coming in. We're going to let him get as close as he wants, you know. We're not worried about it. I mean, I guess he's wasting Trev ammo. But there we go. Mending blob achieved. And we're just gonna go try to snipe him now, I guess. Because if we poison him and just pop in there, we'll be fine. Selpy is over there, but like, man, the main army of theirs is so far away. And the longer they wait, of course, the worse for them. And now we need to, yeah, we catch them, so we need to stop shooting there. Because we don't want to hit our own generals and make it harder for them to hit him. Because we're going to pop him right here, right? He ran way too far forward. This is a bold guy, you know, but too bold by far. Maybe this is going to let him win in the long run. But we're just going to try to pop him here. Should be able to do it. In here, we'll just wail on these repeater crossbows. We're gonna get in here and here. They are very slowly trying to make their way up. This is not gonna be going well for them. And we're just holding fire on that. If we can shatter them, That would be fine. We don't need to, like, slay him on the battlefield, necessarily. But I don't want him coming back in the third quarter, right? He's got a bow still, so that could be a big headache. Well, if she hits him a couple more times, that'll be sorted out. We need to get these fellows out, though. No, this isn't a game. This is real life. I'm like, wait, no, let's break these. They're at 15, we can break them. She'll just come in and get a bash. Alright, maybe not. Well, we do not need to eat another charge from these guys. If we stay engaged, though, they won't be able to get that bonus on. We want to run here. You know, if you... Oh, yeah, we got CME. Good deal. If you have the presence of mind to be able to use your micro, then, you know, that's one thing. And here we go. Time to fire at will. The Trebs. This will be a neat trick. And just in time, of course. These Trebs show up. And now we're going to be able to bring everybody up here. Alright, now here we're eating fire arrows. They'll probably just burn down the armor, the thing around them. I don't think we need to worry about it. It looks like this whole thing is trying to flank there. We're going to move up this way to try to guard the flank. Alright, and Zheng, we can get an elite mock out here on Cao Pi, right? Yeah. He'll show why the Empress left him in charge. And it'll be elephant time over here soon. But yeah, you know, we lose a bunch of models here, but I feel like if we just sit here, that's better than trying to respawn. I mean, we can try to back away, but, you know, what's it worth? Because they'll just, like, you know, at least they're getting burned in there, you know. It's just sort of like, yeah, we'll move back. I mean, I guess don't give them free shots, but... Alright, so... We'll start moving to squares. You know, we'll keep letting the Jiang hunters target select because okay, now they're waking up, right? They have grabbed their bush and put on a little makeup. They are ready to go, but they may have waited too long, you know, to become engaged. We need to make sure we don't get into the caltrops there. But this charge here should be quite nice indeed. We get a ranged block chance just cuz. And 4 generals can make decent enough work of a unit of cavalry. You know, backed up by other cavalry would be better. Alright, let's get Fudging out of there. He's too thoughtful. That's a little too close to some guys. We need to be a little less thoughtful than all that. And then here we're going to get to open up on these crossbowmen. Just a flank guard there. And, you know, those mounted archers, they're out of ammo now, so, you know, we won that engagement, you know. We let them shoot us up for a bit, and now they're over it. And now they're going to have no choice but to, you know, come up here and fight something. The bulk of their army is so strung out now, though, because we've made them use so much of their energies coming to us. After all, they are the one who gave battle. And so it is their necessity to attack. And these repeating crossbows just get tuned up. And we're going to challenge Cao Pi, the spirit of the Empress, against the leader of Wei. He has no choice. Cao Wei has no choice. That's the name of the kingdom, not his name. And we're just beating up on Sun Ren here. They're not getting anywhere in on this side. We don't need to move up to the front, though. And she wins. I don't think any of these people were oath sworn to him. It just shows that he wasn't particularly popular, right? Oh, the trebuchet, that's what got the protectors. Well, you know. She's very pleased with herself. There we go. She got back on the horse. Does anybody else want a duel? We'll give ourselves a little ranged block chance there. And, well, it's time for the elephant to get involved. Sun Ren getting beat on very badly here. She's going to be running for the hills. We're gonna have to let her come back. Maybe. And we might be able to run her down here. Their treb is almost out of ammo, so we'll just let it run out, I guess. I mean, no, that's 3 shots. We're already in the neighborhood here. Oh, right. She's got poison volley, too. This is the premium army. Like, you want to duel me? Very well, I accept. If she can't win with the tiger's claws, then, you know, I've misjudged her. I think she'll be fine. We're going to go over here to nuke the dude's evasion stats, though. Their strategists are among my lines. That's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them. Alright. We just need to make sure we don't lose our horses back here and everything is okay. That poison volley did some alright work. We're just going to go around this direction. Sort of crawl them that way. You know, she takes a bunch of damage to the duel, but hey, taking out a powerful level 6 sentinel never comes free, and we never used the ability, did we? Oh my goodness. Oh, because he's got skirmish mode on. My stars. Anyway, we're just gonna charge the elephant in here. Alright, we're gonna nuke his evasion down, and now she'll have no choice but to hit him, and she'll win with like a couple thousand hit points. Please, girl. Please. You don't want to make me a liar. Alright, we're gonna hit a mock here. Alright, good stuff. Elephant bro is Elephantine. And here, we just want to get everyone back together again so we can get healed up. She has 4 charges of poison volley, and it would be a sin or a mistake to not use any of them. Alright, that would have been a bad shot, though. We want to get, like, one here. This doesn't seem that good. We just need to use any, though, at this point. You know, for value. And they run right in front of her. Please don't get hit. Alright, she does fine. And these fools, yeah, they're in for just the worst time here pretty soon. Alright, and we get a big heal, and now we need to get out of here, you know, just taking some free shots, not where we want to be. Not where we want to be. But here, finishing up this flank, oh yeah, this is the good stuff here. This is the dream. Ah, what a battle. And they're gonna turn. I'm like, no, they keep on faking me out, and I'm like, I'm trying to charge it with the elephant. Oh man, we're moving slow here. We're gonna hit him with the old trumperoni, the old trumpeteer. And of course, heavy cav engaged with protectors of heaven, long or short term, not what they want. Not what they want at all. We do want to pull the cav back a little bit. Like, oh, there's only 8 of them here. I'm like, how have they not chewed this up? Pop them there. Yeah, what a great battle. And what a great battle to be like the capstone of a campaign too. To really showcase the power and the fury of a proper bandit army with strong heroes, the strongest items, the best horses, the most valorous defenders of the throne. You know, a long time ago I said I didn't deserve to rule China, but we're proving that's not true. Alright, and now it's just to wait for him to come to us. We can speed it up a little bit here. And there we let the Northern Veteran Spears come in behind us there, because we countercharge what was going to be the charge on us. We're like, you want to flank us? No way. We will take care of you. Alright. We got a battle on our hands again, of course. Okay, so their siege artillery coming in as it does on that side of the map, well, it's not going to do them any favors, is it? And then Shifu, like, premier duelist and most valuable healer. Like, what a guy, right? Like, what a total champion. He bears the Mace of Zuchu and a bunch of other stuff besides. Like a legacy of courage. Anybody want a duel? Now, normally you don't do a sentinel, but the rule is different if you have this weapon. And we're gonna run in with Sima Yi and pop the abilities off on him, right? And now, with no evasion, you know, he's gonna swing like 4 times, and she's gonna get hit like 4 times, and that's gonna be what we need. We're gonna pop a roar here. And that was the 1-2 punch we needed. You know, you drop the evasion down. Of course, now we still got to get one more hit in. Hey, Luke. So let's see, Julon. Recognize the name? I don't guess I do. But hello, Luke. You know, the battle goes well. We you know, we took an advantageous spot. Vanguard deployment for stuff to get into the back, you know, get everything on. We bashed them very, very well in the initial skirmish phase, and then now, you know, they're trickling in with what remains. Cao Pi took a duel. Somebody's under. Hey, I'm Shrew. Cao Pi took a duel with Jiang, the bearer of the axes of the Empress herself, and of course she just beat the straight brakes off of him. And then Sun Ren didn't want to duel anybody, and we ran around and hit her. And Sima Yi, like, charged out in front of his whole forces and basically, like, got wrecked before anybody else got involved. So, you know, sort of out of character. Normally you expect him to behave a little more cagely, but... They had so many armies here, they're still slowly trickling in, but that's the benefit, right? They're already engaged. They're gonna keep coming over here, and that's just gonna wreck their, Alright, we need to get some cav over there to, stop this ridiculous fleeing extravaganza. Catch these crossbows a little bit. Alright, you can stay here. But last night, as I was going to bed, I was like, oh, randomly generated sentinels and strategists and commanders can be women, but there aren't any randomly generated vanguards or champions, and that's why I'm like, man, why is my recruiting pool so skewed whenever I'm getting them? Like, that's why. Maybe there's a mod for that. I guess they wouldn't have, like, armor sets for them. You could just, like, take the Sentinel one and recolor it, you know. Give me some champion green lady heroes. That is what I want. You know, you could play non-min where everybody could be everything. Very open-minded. And Sunren's the only Vanguard. Yep. Because Vanguards are quite nice, right? For heroes. They, you know, once you... Especially if they have good armor. You know, they've got the punchiness, they got the scream thing. You're challenging me? Very well, I accept. I'm not even tired. I eat people like you for breakfast. Oh, you just got like a heavenly sword and proficient scale mail and a bodyguard? That's cool. That's cool. Have you ever heard of the Red Sisters? It's not a story any of our enemies would have told you because they didn't make it out. And then we're going to run in here just like always because we are very sporting. Oh, we lost his horse. That is not ideal. Well, I think we're ending anyway, but you know, we're going to... It'll be fine. It'll be fine because we're going to send everybody in here to protect the Emperor. I think they're army lossing right now. But, like, she doesn't need any help in this duel, of course. No, she doesn't need any help at all. 4K listed AP damage, are you joking? Wowza! That's the power of Tenacity of Steel, right? There we go. And they all run. We did have a female champion once, yes. And she lives on in our hearts and on the flags. And, you know, in her very axes. Because although that Sentinel looks like a Sentinel, she's really the champion in our hearts. She does not deny that long did she gaze upon those axes with desire. And we get what I consider to be an absolutely awesome victory, right? Because we took, what, some losses on some hidden axes, some losses on... But, like, these armies fundamentally... And we didn't even get that beat up on the heroes. Like, this army a little bit, but, you know... Fundamentally, we are still in fighting shape. We could fight 3 more of these armies, but they don't have 3 more. You know, this is as good as they're getting anymore. They're really on the back foot. But at this point, we're just basically giving everybody the chop unless I personally know them. So she's trustworthy, frivolous, creative, honest. But yeah, we're just popping everybody. We're just popping everybody. You know, take them out of the recruiting pool. Let the auto resolve take care of it. You know, this campaign is rolling in. They should have surrendered when they have the chance. I know the game won't let them. But a awesome victory. You know, the outcome was never really in doubt, right? At this level of power of the armies, plus being unbreakable, like, the army with all the good heroes, 2 poison volleys, we didn't even use but like 3 poison volleys in the fight, right? Like, we could have played it even harsher. Because, yeah, they've got those armies around there, but, like, how are they going to pay for all of this? And once we knock some of these forces down, how are they going to pay to get them back? Like, there's nowhere for them to come from. There's no food. They got no jobs. They withdrawn all their forces at the capital. Yeah, I mean, they barely have anything that's not the capital, right? Like, they are a sad shell of their former self, and every... look at Wu the Ambitious coming in here. But we're gonna start the turn up here, mopping up this stuff. This army needs to be recalled and moved. And this army can finish rolling this up. They actually need to heal, right? Every time you see that over there, you think of the same sort of joke without fail. You know, there's a lot of names that seem to do that to people. Alright, so that's all that. And up here, this person. That's right. We had the hilarious battle of the pass. The hilarious auto-resolve misclick where we lost. But, you know, she redeems herself with a sweet spin kick. You know, because this is where the heroes are made here in the Battle of Luoyang. A place that definitely used to be important to the story. And right now is a tidy little low-level settlement. Alright, we still have active food with her, and she loves me. Does she have any cool stuff? Not that matters about taking right now. Alright, so that's that, and then we can move here. He saw the ambush, but, like, it didn't help him evade it. Shakira, I see. It's like, probably should have healed. I'm like, no, this is just a level 10 city with one crummy garrison. Get wrecked. And yeah, and due to whatever effect is letting me replenish an enemy lands, the only unit that's basically not at full strength after that, after fighting that battle, is the one unit that got convalesced out. And yeah, because they were already in the share the spoils stance, and it ended up working. You know, that's a beautiful thing right there. We're gonna take night battles here because he's not gonna live forever. But he should be commanding the army, obviously. Alright, so Zhao Pi is running over here, very beat up, and... Alright, so all of these armies are just schwammered. But we need to burn one more turn there, but not here. This army's fine. You know, they got the wounded thing, but they're fine. So we'll go there, that'll threaten them a little bit. We'll swing in here. This army, yeah, I mean, we could beat... Yeah, even if they move those armies up, we'd still be fine. Here, I think the auto is fine. I don't think they're really gonna do much to us on that auto at all, yeah. And this is perfect. We're gonna be able to catch the Sun Ren army out as well. Of course, very, very beat up there, and, you know, we'll be able to beat that garrison out of the settlement without having to worry about the wall on the auto-resolve. And, of course, we are still, like, actively replenishing in their territory because, you know, I'm gonna say it's because, like, we have the mandate, right? Right? Like... We have been selected for prominence due to our obvious right to rule. What can only be described as the mandate of heaven, you know? Fortunately, there's already a whole philosophical justification for the obvious reason that we're in power. Alright, do we want to drop one of these armies and recruit it down here? I mean, probably, right? I mean, it would be better to do it there next turn. Hey, now we could just move them. After all, let's not get too precious about anything here. Let's just keep it rolling.
怒吼吧！迅速出击，破其锐志。今日此战，乃是大义之胜。这是我们应得的。威武不屈。
Yeah, and then we go share the spoils. So even if they try to take a fight, which I don't think they will, what could they do? If they had a lot of movement, they could march stance up to reinforce. But that would be these two armies that are so beat up, decent troop quality, right? But so beat up, and that aren't getting anything done in the replenishment category. That one isn't. This one, big time from all the population. I was like, why not? These are in March. But, you know, so much the better. This is the bigger army with more retinues, so I think we'll be fine there. And I'm reasonably sure that we can just, like, retreat, even if they can make contact here, but I don't think they can. We've got big movement. He had to march to get away, which won't work. And then we'll give him the old chest kick. Oh, let's see, we'll get swept from south to north. You know, it was an interesting run in a lot of ways. But, you know, we've got a big force there on the coast. You know, we're making it work. We are making it work. And, you know, for the scale of what's going on, I think these turns are going, you know, pleasantly quickly. You'll side pieces with us. He would pay us tribute at this point, and he is broke. Which, you know, if we were in a more deliberative mood, we may well have done. You know, if it happened super earlier in a campaign, right? As soon as he would have offered tribute, we would have taken it thinking, okay, now we'll starve his economy, we'll move against one of our other foes. But, you know, because we're in the overwhelming military force phase of the operation, that was not so necessary. What a campaign. What a campaign. Truly the stuff of legend. History as it absolutely should not have gone. All right. Yeah, I guess we just take this and then, like, walk in, right? And if they want to try to fight this army in a choke point battle, good. Good, I want them to do it. Alright, so we don't need Wisdom of the River. I'll take Patience, not least because it'll give us some resolve. Oh, and Nature's Shield. That's right, the fatigue immunity for the own retinue. We gotta get somebody else who can wear that. Oh, they both get fatigue immune. Okay, so one is in the set, the fortress, and they're the same unique item, but this is the cooler one. Okay. Well, sweet. I was like, all those stats look familiar. Well, that means... that Pingun, the poacher, can now be in a oh, look at the oh, yeah, that's the good stuff right there. What a handsome old guy. Give him a better horse. You know, he's nowhere near the front, but, you know, it's about sending a message. Alright. That's enough of that. So here, it's LP moves over there. We move... I'm like, well, if they attack, we don't get the replenishment. We don't really need the replenishment, though. And getting to defend the minor settlement in the little map there, if it happens that way. I guess it's farmland, and it doesn't always happen that way. But it did in the past. Alright, so here... we can begin. Now, we could fight all of them, but what I think we're going to do is just night fight off one of them, right? And then we'll back up, you know. I mean, we could just gloriously do the full fight. Would we win? I mean, maybe. You know, we have one poison volley person, she's got the tiger's claws. This is a great fighter, right? And she's like an okay fighter, and we got Mach. We don't have heals though, you know, this isn't the army that's got all that. No. We'll just do it the smart way, right? That's what we'll do. We're not throwing away our old man strategist on a foolhardy attempt when we can pick them apart. We'll check our board there, and that's going to give us, you know, an arc where these defenders are going to, like, have a nice advantageous thing to move into, and then we'll keep Protectors of Heaven in reserve here. You know, like, the fight's going to go fine. We just want to win with minimal casualties, right? Which is going to necessitate wise play, like firing at the Juggernaut. No, I mean, probably we can get away with something else, like hitting Protectors of Heaven. No, but they don't even have them. These are Zamishan. That's right, they're broke now. I wonder what happened to their economy. Oh, and the night... oh, yeah, they're gonna crumble so quick here, huh? That's right, because they don't have the crazy morale that comes from being happy anymore. They instead are getting shot with poisonous arrows, getting bombarded with outrageous trebuchet shots, and, you know, their best hope at getting some damage out is gone with the very wind there, gone in the fog. You want to brawl? You want to brawl? I mean, I think we would win both of them, but it's more important to me to get this poison volley off than to let her lose thousands of hit points. Because, again, we're going to win anyway, but we need this army in good shape. I can't believe I remembered that. That's normally the sort of thing that I say and then immediately do the opposite of, because I like being brave. That's not what I'm doing here. This isn't being brave. This is being clever. They're not the same. And then we're gonna... Come on, shoot. Shoot up the way. You can even get this one a little bit. Beautiful. Unless they all missed. Some of them hit. Maybe a lot of them hit. And these people are so concerned with trying to wheel to brace against me that we're able to, oh yeah. Oh, look at me learning to play. They were trying to brace, so we countercharged in. Beautiful. Oh, and the defenders of Earth. Oh, look at the damage. Oh, they're all falling down. Oh, look at me. I learned to play. You know, it couldn't have happened any faster. It had to take exactly this long. But of course, we finally set it up in like a checkerboard and not a straight line, which I already know I'm supposed to do from Warhammer, you know. You checkerboard so that your missile fire can still get in around it. These are the things that we learn as young orc players. He said he's earned the ability to mock anyone, considering the state of things. Yes. You know, speaking of, let's go get a mock in, right? And then we do the old 1-2 punch, right? You drop their evasion down to nothing. Even nothing plus 50%, still nothing. You know, brutal stuff. And that is how it's done. And here, we do absolutely want to chase these fools down as we can. Because the more of these armies we beat up, the more chance there is that they don't get out of here alive. And, you know, it's obviously not going to be any kind of picnic for them to put Humpty Dumpty back together again here. But we're just going to give it the old fast forward. You know, you can't really expect to catch cavalry, but just getting rid of some great swords and stuff. It's good, you know, it takes care of auto-resolve power and real power. Yeah, you know, the Empress looks wiser and wiser all the time with her decision to put him in charge. She's like, hey, you run stuff for a while. If you find someone that looks like the reincarnation of me, maybe make her the heir later on. But right now, you know, I bet you'll do a great job. She's on foot. She's on foot. A clinic. You know, perfectly wonderful. That's exactly what night fighting is for, right? Because, you know, lightning strike and its other analogs, like, you use them for the power of it, and sometimes they act like too aggressively. But here, like, in my mind, this is like why that mechanic should be in a game, and why it's good that you gotta work a little bit for it, you know, because if they have just a bunch of armies sitting around a city, okay, one huge army and one huge garrison in a city, right, but like, how are they gonna fit all of these things in there, right? Shouldn't you be able to attack them on the outskirts? So it's very good there. Anyway, Mark, it's like a better version of Poison Blade. Oh yeah, for sure, because I mean, it's got the morale and the melee attack rate debuff on it too, and it's, I mean, not as much damage, but pretty good. Poison Volley is a much better version. Yeah, no joke there. And we continue on our rampage, which of course makes the non-men love us. And here, we are regenerating HP here. We are getting 19%. So we're going to sit here. Yeah, we're going to sit here and besiege it. And because that's better than not, right? Because they won't be able to have a good time. We'll start starving them down a little bit. And these armies are not equipped enough to get to us, right? So if they try to sally out, you know, so much the better for us. And we'll just beat them down again. This replenishing in foreign territory, pretty good, huh? Because these guys, they both can't get over here in enough time. Or no, they can get out through the port, I guess, even with it besieged. Interesting. Well, even if they bring these armies, we'll just beat both of them. Because taking this, getting beat up, and then being inside, that's no advantage compared to sitting outside for one more turn. And, in point of fact, since we're going to have some more reinforcements before long at all, right here. Maybe even better. Alright, this army is almost healed. If we go to March, we'll be able to take Nanhai, or take Jiang. The commander's name is Nanhai. And, that'll be nice. We're just gonna move in here.
智取胜于强攻。正用得上此城。
Little night battle, not that it should matter. We're gonna do a little share the spoilin'.
有要事商议。威武不屈。 恢复原样，挫其锐志，保持原样，绝不留情。
And oh, it's that old iron mine again. That old mine at Dongping. The site of many a misery in our earlier campaigns here. That garrison was just too good, but look at us now. Converting it over and getting even cheaper upkeep on infantry. That's right, look at us now. Here, we need to share the spoils there. We need to move in like so. And she bravely runs away, away. But it was not to be, you know, sometimes you can't run away enough. With retinues like this, 80 years old? I was like, I think I've seen that name through this campaign, and yes, I have. Well, you know, with retinues like that, they deserve to go free. Anybody that's broke can stay. Alright, so that army redeems itself, you know, ish. You know, that gilded armor looks so cool. Really is just quite nice. Alright, so we're gonna go like this. Keep on chasing them down. Gotta sell out, yes, absolutely. Your army is bad, you can live.
留着他们不过是浪费物资。误国讨贼！
Hiya!
之于地。
This amazing garrison, you know, before long there'll be like a high-level garrison here.
这就去办。
We'll just chase that guy, you know, forever. Not a shit, abandoned way, and whatever's left to Wu. Yep. And of course, the steps have totally fallen to the malevolent forces of me. Alright, do we take this? I mean, yeah, we're gonna need to downgrade it anyway, but no, we'll keep it, you know. We'll keep it in its stately glory. I was like, some of it could be good. 20% character experience? Yeah, we'll keep that. You know, Shu Han really held on for a long time. But Nanman proved too much for him, right? Much too much indeed. Like, here is like, does this even have a port? Okay, yeah, we can get on the river and go up this way, I guess. But more likely to just seek the sea and go around that way. Yeah.
养精蓄锐，折而不摧，悉心节欲，待时而发。潮起潮落，足以磨平巨石。
like, no, they're... I'm like, yeah, they're fatigue immune. Nope, we've already got them in a different army. Good enough. Alright, and then they'll be able to meet up there. Reform, let's choose this one. You know, on the grounds that it's there.
有何吩咐？
想问点什么？
大人有何打算？大人有何吩咐？
有何吩咐？
我绝不动摇。
In the Namen games, we painted them out for fun. This one out of necessity, just about. Oh yeah, you know, like this. By the time we developed the power to do anything, we essentially had to play it out this way. We could have been, obviously, we could have just left Wu alone and then backstabbed him at the end. But this was more sporting after all. And here. I'm thinking we should just do this battle. I bet I win. Yeah, this first army's super beat up. We got poison volley. You know, what are they going to bring to bear? The only thing I'm worried about is these three defenders of Earth. We'll just need to make sure our cavalry is alive for the end. Other than that, they've got beat up heroes. They're going to fall super quick. Yeah. And the full stack, I mean, these are militia. Some of them are assault infantry, but a lot of them are just militia. And they're not going to really like what happens to them here. Totally doable, yes. And all we have that's weakened is 80 units out of one Protector of Heaven, which is, after all, not that much of a disadvantage to be starting from. What's our map look like? Do we have a hill? No. Do we have some nice forest behind? Yes. Weak in defense. 'Cause she's not fatigue immune, but she's still got a super quick horse. And poisonous hands. Alright. Need to be doing aggressive Wisdom of the River whenever the melee groups are clashing. It'll be fine. Yep, there we go. We figured they'd do this, but if we put enough of a hurting on them, they'll want to come in. And of course, with this beat-up army, this poison volley, you know, we might just go all the way over here to mess with that one, but I do worry about getting caught up in some cav, because their cav's a little bit quicker than me once I get tired, and they will have at least enough of it to catch me up. But here, I don't know, maybe it's not worth the charge. Hello, Michael. You say nice mustache? Well, thank you very much. And that last of the shots went right into their face of that cav that charged me, you know. But we got enough sunk on to these where I feel like, yeah, and then, you know, 7 Defenders of Earth, that's not nothing, but we'll be able to get rid of them, because, like, this little block of archers represents enough killing power to take out, you know, like, almost an infantry group, but this fool, if he's gonna let me swing... Oh, he's got a bow. He's trying to shoot me. Well, shoot this! Byaw! Alright, he uses the ability. You know, I sure wish I had fatigue immunity on her, but only one person can bear the axes. Like, she's not super great at making contact here with these small model counts on the ground. Got him. Cut him down. And, you know, they wanted to attack me, so I don't feel bad about this at all. And then their own side hits them with suppressing fire. We wheel around to hit into these cav, which this is like a fresh block of them. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. It's like it's too late to walk away now, though, right? We don't want to eat another charge. We've already taken enough here. We gotta get the kill. She's beat up. Do we try to take a duel to get better? Not out here, you know. We don't want to take a duel out here. How quick are they? Oh, God, they're very fast. How do they have horses that quick? Let's get out of here. $126. They gotta have, like, some faction effect. Their horses aren't... Oh, no, they just have normal horses, which are faster than Yellowhoofed Thunder, I guess. No, they've got some effect. So I know, like, the better your horses get, the heavier, you know, typically, and slower they are, but, like... I knew she had Yellowhoofed Thunder. Thought we were good. But she is very tired, which I thought affected speed. Nature's Ally. Ah, yeah. And then, like, the retinue running speed thing, potentially also. Yeah, we don't need to mess around up there. I'm like, you know, if this was a full stack, that would be a really attractive shot for the poison volley. It's still a pretty attractive shot. But I mean, these guys are so beat up. I mean, maybe I also got to think maybe it's better to let them get a little closer before we do it. You know, this is going to be a long fight. Yeah, because they're just, you know, we've already convinced them to give battle here. Yeah, I think we can just save the poison volley for more stacks. And also, like, we can let them walk further out, and then that'll make their streaming in even worse for them. Because, you know, due to his brilliance and cunning, you know, we got 20 shots in these trebs, and these, I gotta believe that they are really gonna not like what happens here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they don't like it at all, do they? And then enfilade fire here from the hidden axes in the trees. Beautiful stuff. Alright, and here we want to take that off. I don't think ranged block chance reduces artillery. Pretty sure it doesn't, but maybe it does. Oh, it gives them unbreakable. I'm like, why are they not running then? Yeah, no, they definitely take the damage from it. At least I think they definitely take damage from it. Yeah, I'm like, their bodies are hitting the floor and not getting back up, right? Sure looks like they're taking damage. Yeah, it's just that big unbreakable block there. These juggernauts are not going to make it in. Alright, time to fire at will again. We'll give this guy some poison arrows, just trying to slow up their approach. Go ahead and do that on these arrows also. And it's funny because them smoke screening here actually really helps me with my poison arrows. Because it helps me switch my shots without trying. And we're going to take these axes off of fire at will. Reasoning that we'll want some more ammo for later on a little bit. Oh. I had these set to poison arrows. I think I just had two in the front there, but not the other one on that side. Get a rear charge into this block and hopefully break them open. You know, these fire archers are holding, but it would be better if it's something else going on here. Because, man, oh man, it's rough stuff. But, you know, we're making our way through it. I'm like, I was so excited to use the ability, I didn't even look at the one that it was, and we didn't really want to use that there. It's okay. He's got skirmish mode on. Smart. Traps around damage. The defenders, though, they still got plenty. Alright, now their strategist is gone. So we're going to be able to, you know, give ourselves the range block chance we wanted. But now it's turning around, right? Because now that big block of heroes, they're all in here. They're embroiled with our... Alright, we're going to put these guys off fire at will. We're going to put these guys off fire at will. We need to conserve a little bit of ammo. Because now this very, you know, this very punchy core of heroes is, instead of doing any work, gonna get hit by, you know, evasive, armor-piercing, tall and imposing folk. Which is not what they wanted for their day. I'm like, you know, a mock back here would be even better. No, this one. That guy's already torched. Alright, fire at will back on for the fire archers. And she's only got 2k HP. She's unbreakable, she must be, but, you know, she's gonna go into the drink now. There she goes. Alright, let's go fire at will again there. I'm like, no, they're gonna shoot at these heroes. Let's not. Get general killers, they stagger and interrupt charges. Ah! I was just thinking, I thought I would take more friendly fire or just waste the shots, essentially. I was like, I don't want my defenders doing it if there's just one general and a bunch of protectors of heaven type of thing, you know. Was my reasoning. What we want to do here is... Okay, that's not what I said. Just point blank, get the work done. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, she's getting beat down there. We're just like in the middle of it. That's bad work. Fa Zheng, how could you let your wife do such a thing? Oh, you're not in charge? You just sort of let her use her judgment. Well, I shouldn't have let her use her judgment. It's my fault. Sorry, Fudging. And these cataphracts just get dumpstered, and you know, this is the problem with how they've operated, right? They treated this battle like they didn't realize that I was gonna make them come to me and fight. But that's the beauty of it, you know. They give battle, they have to press it onto the field, or else, you know, you just say, oh, whatever, I guess we win. We're gonna hit him with the mock. We are gonna mock this fellow to death. It's actually probably gonna break him too, because he's only at 2. Well, I mean, the damage will probably get him there anyway, but we'll just walk right up and fudge. Oh yeah, he's on foot. He won't even be able to get away from this vicious mockery. Wei Guan, whose father was a hamster, cannot live up to any expectations. He's just got to run. He cannot stand it. I can't keep getting away with it. And this is like the last of the garrison of the, this is the garrison from the city itself, these Protectors of Heaven. We'll recognize that. So what we want to do here... she should go out there, and then we'll give her the speed buff, right? Yeah. We're just going to leave the Trebs back there on the grounds that I don't think they're going to get to him. I think all the Cavs are already gone. You're not allowed to mockery perfect balance, yes. I think I got the achievement the other day. I think I had a general die to mockery after Fa Jing had already been killed out in the forest. I chased him in thinking like I could get something in, and then he ends up getting caught out. And then we ended up winning the battle because it healed his Oathsworn in the army, who were very weakened, because he only had like 2.5k HP, I guess, at the beginning. And, and then I think the damage, because I got the thing for, like, killed a hero with an ability, and I'm like, what ability? And I'm like, oh, it must have been that one. Come on. Come on. Yes. Glorious. Beautiful. Oh, they were braced there under the cover of night. Under the cover of darkness, and I ran right into it. This'll be alright, though. The ammo that we saved on the Defenders of Earth here gets to go into the old Protectors of Heaven at the end, just as planned. And then, like a clinic, just beautiful. Like, look at me playing the game right. Look at that. Saving the last poison volley to break in there when the last of their elite infantry was there. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right there.
我军已兵临敌军城下，而敌军仍在做困兽之斗。
You know, we should have ran them down. I wasn't even thinking.
我军智略
That army gets eliminated. That army gets almost eliminated. And these get very beat up. You know, we should have ran them down. That could have helped. We are, of course, still healing. And it's time for us to go on a spree.
是刀兵之祖，他们对天下毫无裨益可言，赐他们死个痛快。
Unlike before, when the zoomed-in view didn't make sense, now there's only so many places for them to go. Alright, so here... Oh, this was the army that was, I mean... Why does he think he's gonna win this? Oh, they don't really have that many good weapons. I mean, like, but why does he think he's gonna win this? It's fine, whatever, let's go. Better try again with get more armies because he finally abandoned it. Yeah, I guess he just said, okay, not worth it. She's got a fast car, that's all we need. He's got mending. Alright, so with that in mind, we've got a mending block. A couple of Defenders of Earth for the punch. We just need to make sure that, you know, we so we have a very protector heavy army here, not very many hidden axes at all. One there, poison arrows for the approach. Alright, so they do have pretty fast guys. We're just going to go around the back here, and we'll probably be fine. And if not, we'll duel someone and then lose, because we don't have Adamant Resolve, and I'll forget. You know, we shouldn't be here. Like, if these cavalry catch us out, they'll just light us up, right? Yeah, let's just get out of here. Because we don't have any cav in this army to countercharge. So let's just back up a little bit. Flaming shot for the approach through the forest. Alright, and here we'll do a poison volley, which will hopefully, yes, get in and hopefully tag them. Yeah, we get some marks on the Cav, and then they got 2 sources of poison on them these days. Hard knock life, right? And we're just gonna charge right into these G militia, who hopefully weren't braced. Maybe they. Oh man, yeah, they must have been. How did they brace so quick? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't ask questions that don't matter. Self. But these are just fire arrows, arrow militia. They don't have... I mean, they've got the palace crossbows, and that's bad. But it's not as bad as, like, you know, Defenders of Earth is, if you don't notice it. So we're just going to run in right here, and speaking of Defenders of Earth, we're going to have both of them open up on the foe. Gonna keep one of these protectors in reserve. Move this one up here. Right, we forgot to do the mending. It's like, I don't know what these fools are thinking. I mean, I guess they're thinking, hey, we'll die with bravery and glory, so, like, good for them. I respect that. By these fools, I mean these auto-resolve fools. And we're gonna go right here. And we're gonna poison volley right here. And we're gonna miss all of our troops, you'll see. Perfect. Those guys are going to chase them forever. That's okay. It's a reputable thing to do for your whole life. You know, she doesn't need to be in there. She is a humble strategist. Why don't you go hit this humble strategist real quick? You know, we definitely let them turn us around a little bit here. Good for Wu. Oh, whoopsie-daisy. Like, I forget these cavalry are just running amok because we don't have any cavalry at all, so we can't put pressure on them to sit still and hit them with our own infantry. You know, that's the problem with taking an all-infantry army, right? One of the problems. This sentinel walks in and gets beat down. Let's walk her away. There we go, a little mending, and that'll give us these combat stats at the same time. I guess these Defenders of Earth are like just as good at prolonged fighting as mounted militia are, right? 1914, 27 attacks a minute versus 23, 25. I mean, no, they're half as good, but they got the same amount of models in the unit and unbreakable. It's pretty funny, right? Because, yeah, I mean, they have 26 armor, 55 melee evasion. So yeah, once the light cav lose their charge thing. So if you just have like charge resist on them from a general aura, I think you just beat light cav in a fight. I mean, they do cost like 270 native, which is a lot. So, I mean, like, you expect an in-game unit to be good. And light cavalry shouldn't be good at killing everything. Otherwise, you know, it'd be the best thing in the game. It already is very good because it's so fast. 70 Chibi was pretty poor track record, wouldn't even for fights, let alone unfair ones. Yeah, you know, it can't all be, you know, I found the Imperial Seal in a well, and then I stole it from the old man and went on an incursion, or whatever that story is. No. Sun said he didn't find it, and somebody else found it, and he, like, borrowed it, right? And Jiang, who lives to be very old in this continuity. Hiya, we say.
我等心怀忠贞，才有此胜。现在来尽情庆贺吧！
Sorgo's Sunshine finds the Imperial Jade Stone in a well after he had threw it in there, and then, yeah, because Yanshu would have been like around at that point, right? Because this would have been like before he declared himself, probably, yeah. If Yanshu was still alive, it would have been before.
汉贼何当落得此下场？
But yes, but due to replenishment, this army, after all of that, yeah, and then they just bounced out. They just said, nope, we don't need that capital anymore. Nubio ambushes Sunshine, kills them, and then Sunseeker gets the still in return for his father's generals and token force, which used to come. Okay. The historical lily gives it right to him. Yeah.
此地百姓不多，但足以为天下所用。智取胜于强攻。
The Emperor's seat is captured.
正用得上此城。
He is no longer the Emperor. Taupi is just like out there folding his arms like, oh really, this is what we're doing.
无之妙计，算无一策。
5K for the post-battle loot.
必须剿灭国贼，让除奸雄，不杀此等贼人，天下凶乱之徒必将有而效之。
来开诚布公吧。
Because here we could peace out with them and make them pay us. I mean, there's no real point in keeping them alive except to show that we're benevolent or whatever. But no, I mean, what would be the point, right? What would be the point? I mean, having a small little tributary state here in the fishing village could be funny, though. Nah, we're just gonna crack on. We're not gonna do stuff for the meme at this point. In any way, the Empire would have no call to keep Cao Pi alive in this point. If he like dies in battle and it's Sun Ren, obviously I'm not gonna execute her. Obviously, my girl who's never done anything wrong. Yeah, you know, that gambit of besieging the capital, you know, and which actually does, like, it's a great story in the story of the campaign, right? Like, we marched out bravely with, you know, the Factioneer's army and just, like, put the standards down and said, you know, come out and fight, come out and die. And then they did, and then we just walked right in and said, okay, now we're talking. So is there like a palace thing I build, or is that somebody else? Because I saw there's some achievement that was like, build an imperial palace, but like none of these qualify, I don't think. Probably the wrong culture. Now to figure out how to get there before the non-do. Well, you know, hopefully they'll just chill and we'll roll it up, and if not, then we'll have to take it from them, right? We'll have to turn our back on the treaty and take it from them. Imperial Palace is a huge pain to build. I see. Oh, you gotta get all the reforms. Oh, okay. Now I remember. I'm like, I feel like I've seen the thing, but yeah, that's like all the building things. And it's probably at the back of some stuff that's not particularly that good. Alright. Let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling in. I mean, she can stay here in Luoyang. It's at the end of the yellow tree. Ah. Oh, because the taxation palace. Got it. And we'll give him the old stab there. Oh, we're in Yellow Turban land here. Whoopsie daisy. Oh no, well, that was bad. You know, we might lose this army. Does it have anything I care about? No, I don't even know their names. Never heard of them. Look, some of them may die, but that is a price we have to be willing to pay. Otherwise, this will take too long. And you know me, parsimony above all things. Alright, can they even get here? They can't. Yeah, they straight abandoned it. They can't even get here to put pressure on it if they wanted to. Beautiful stuff.
承天所助。
What a campaign. What a campaign. What a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a life. What a good time. So many amazing stories. I have no doubt that this will live large in my mind for many years as some of the most fun I ever had in a strategy game. Great stuff. Great stuff indeed. We finally found some more. Yeah, you know, they suffered greatly too because they had different little pockets where Nanman was there just bashing him over and over. And then the war with Wei, and like, because, you know, they still have the worries of like this area up here getting sacked, and, you know, like they were getting fought there, and then just like when Wei wasn't on the back foot too, Wei was consistently sending, because it was so wealthy for so long, it was consistently sending stuff into the border regions, and like they would send a couple armies down on the ocean, on the coastline, and then after like 7 turns they would just get mollywomped. But, you know, too little too late for the foes of the Dominion. We'll just jump off like right here and walk across Diamond Lands. Yeah. Look, we're pals. They've been bankrolling this whole war, right? They hated Wu so much. They're like, what, this gold stuff that in the ground? You mean corn? I know they don't grow that here. It's from Disney's Pocahontas. There's nothing here but worthless gold. That's Star Trek. Anyway. Because, like, what? Do they think they're going to get to this Emperor seat in enough time? Because we have reinforcements right there. Wow, Wu actually has armies on the field up here. Let's retreat. Lots of armies. They won't be able to catch us up here in the mountainous rice paddy farming zone. You say Quark was your favorite character on the show, but all of that was just bad. Some of his Quark-driven episodes weren't the best, I think. But something like Bar Association, I consider to be both hysterically funny and like a really great episode of DS9. But I mean, like, you know, the Magnificent Ferengi, a lot weaker. But I think Quark really shined under the Cardassian occupation. The second one that happened in the Dominion War, I think his character, you know, when he had to, you know, figure out who he really was after so long of just saying who he was supposed to be, I really liked that. You know, the Dominion War brought out a lot of interesting character notes from a lot of characters. I loved him. We, of course, my family was big Star Trek fans. We had little action figures. We did have a Quark one, you know. He sat on a little, you know, Ferengi stand that looked like they're communicators, and he had a little bar of gold pressed latinum that you could put into his hand. Wow, I forgot. I'm like, you know, these mountains, they don't go in a straight line, do they? It'll be fine.
拿起武器。
Alright, we don't have any siege ammo, that's alright. Of course, I don't know.
吾等大业，天意所归。
点燃激情，痛击敌军。国军如有天助，
No,
齐天
there's,
大圣。
you know, because there were, I guess, 4 or 5 characters that I would consider broadly like Quark in DS9, and I liked all of them. The fish in the wrong water, you know. You had Garrick, you had Quark, you had Bashir, you had Ezri, you had Worf, Odo, you had Kira, you know, like, almost half of the cast or more were all people that, for one reason or another, didn't belong, quote unquote, you know, doing what they were doing. Or didn't belong in the place they were and were trying to stay themselves in the face of that. Quark's the most interesting example of that because his morality is so unique, right? So it's interesting for that to see him, because it's like he wants to be this bad person that he isn't, because that's his self-concept, and that's also the way to, you know, the recognition that he thinks he wants. And he spends a great amount of time wrestling, you know, with whether or not he wants to believe what he's supposed to believe, you know. The strictures of his society, which again thrust him out and took away his business license. Yeah. You know, Quark is mostly a good Ferengi. He knows that peace is good for business and war is good for business. He knows to never trust anyone taller than you. But Quark has a heart. And that, you know, that's a weakness that the general member of the Ferengi will never forgive him. Do we have night battles in this force? We wouldn't have it from her, we would have it from him. Yes, we do have night battles in this force, and that means we're gonna run up here and roll them up. So they attacked us, which allowed us to retreat. Of course, people were exactly. You know, I think it's probably like a very common, like, this is a great Quark moment, but like in the occupation, when he's sitting there and he's like breaking down, he's just like, you know, I want to serve root beer again. It's so funny to me, and like I love it. It's good stuff. So here, you know, we might get away, we might not. What I do know is that I didn't want to be spending a lot of time, you know, figuring out what we're doing over here. You know, we're not spending manual battle time with this fight over here in Wu, which doesn't matter. I mean, it all matters. All the armies are very important to me, you know, but I don't even know their names. You know, we will certainly auto-resolve it off, but we're not spending the extra time. We're just gonna let the yellow turbans take over. Who cares? They're our friends, right? I'm like, no, if we go to the water, well, no, it seems dumb, doesn't it?
出发！陷阱已设下。
心怀忠正。
We'll move to ambush there, and they'll think we're weak, or something. And after that, we'll just get onto the water and roll down. No, we won't. That's so many armies. They're gonna be weak now, though, right? Yeah, they can't afford... They can't afford good armies anymore, and their retinues for new guys, you know, since we're getting rid of a lot of the old good ones, their new retinues are gonna have to have, you know, accessible things in them. They're not gonna be able to stack, you know, Protectors of Heaven, Defenders of Earth, after these initial retinues go away. Good stuff. You know, with these people right there, we can go, like, here to ambush and maybe convince them to land. That would be nice. And now it's time to march over to Wu. You know, it's possible that Jing, who no doubt is the child of Lady Zhurong, or some doubt is the child of Lady Zhurong, but probably is. Kids are finally growing up. We're just gonna get those guys because they're not spies. Alright, we're just gonna take something that's lit up, just anything that's lit up. This one? Yeah, sure. Available armies, who cares? One more trailers, okay? Yeah. Exactly. And, like, look. We didn't tell them that they were supposed to get to be Emperor. We didn't tell them that at all. And yes, once again, the long-distance retreat, you know, it always happens to me, so... It's so funny to see it actually help me out, because in Warhammer, you know, in Total War, you usually spend much more of your time on the offensive rather than running away. Because usually, if you run away before the fight, you know, all you do is lose your whole army when you run, type of thing. But there, you know, we actually got to run around the side of the mountain, which is so annoying when the computer does it. The interns are nice and small again now that the computers don't have too much thinking to do. Do they not have any unique of this? Well, we haven't found it anyway. Like, we don't have enough guardians in our armies to there we go. Twin Marshal G. Good.
一往无前，出其不意，攻其不备，时局变动，戡乱讨逆。天下，告诉众人，我回来了。
Seems alright. They move in, we can reinforce.
唯有扫清六合，天下才能平定。快去！
Man. But speaking of hilarious, this person has led us on a merry chase. Look, we'll try to remember this for the future, but if you're in losing, don't try to chase them around. You're gonna have a bad time.
协力出击。
You know, we're gonna go up this way.
正在行进，
We're not gonna stay down there anymore. Tis a silly place.
整装待发，我军必胜，正义必胜，我等应设宴庆贺。现在这里归我军所有了。天命在此。 每打赢一场，天下就安定一分。占领此城乃是谨慎之举。
Yeah, we did it, Luke. We did it. We control at least 3 settlements. Aha! That's the good stuff right there. And now we're supposed to conquer these old lands. We finally did it.
释放怒火吧！
Yellow Turban Soda is causing us a lot of trouble down there.
摆设宴席，欢
How
呼
so?
庆祝吧！
It's just hanging out.
此城甚善，先收下了。我军所向披靡。
Replenishment and pathfinding. Ah, I guess there's that. Oh, you mean this one right here? Yes, yes. I just figured if I declared war on them, then we'd be at war with all of them and not such good friends.
“剑锋出鞘，攻其不备。”
Alright, so if we're in ambush, we wouldn't support the place. But I mean, I don't think they would go there overnight, though. I think we would try to, yeah, you know, not too worried about it. I imagine before too long we're going to be declaring glorious victory. Oh, they're fighting the non-men. Well, good for them. Can't catch me. Here, we did walk outside of the thing, so we're gonna run away because I don't feel like doing it. Enough losing this fight. It's like, why don't we fight the guys that have tigers? I know they seem scary, but I bet it'll be easier than the guys who literally have never run in the last 15 years. No, I think it's only been 10.
“开战！”
Moose never will come. No, no.
为了天下大业，
They're not coming back. This is just them trying to put it back together a little bit.
我愿意
They're still super broke. The only thing they've got is the ability to, you know, get some real troops in their armies when they can afford it.
阁下来了，真是天
They would
意。
even pay me tribute. Such is the condition they're in.
保持原样。正在行进，
稍事休息，异想天开。
拿起武器。无之妙计，算无一策。一统天下。
And once again, we get neutral faction replenishment, which for this is just so good, right? Because we are... Otherwise, we'd be showing up here without it.
后土之力，
Amazing.
挫其锐志。
立刻群敌，聚气凝神。
绝不动摇。路径明晰，准备伏击，向前进军。
We're just gonna lay in wait here and let them come across to us, and if not, then we'll just roll in this way. I'm not trying to go across that river. I'll make them do it. I know they're broke. They can't wait as long as I
拿起
can.
武器，
She goes to march stance, very careless of her.
乱军终于得以平息。
Probably working for that one. Oh yeah, you know that's true. Right, cause yeah.
这样我们就摆脱这些
That's so
累赘。
funny. It's like, yeah, that's right, I am doing my job.
“有何吩咐？”
It's the one that gives me night fighting.
落叶就像生命中最后的火焰。
Not that we have access to. Well, we'll just go over here.
养兵千日，用兵一时。全力奋战，则战无不胜。还是有些用处的。怒火纷飞，进攻！坚持不懈，
心运良谋。
我已准备好作战了。
下入于地，上通于天。
准备作战，向前推进。
团结一心，
挽弓预射，则屏息凝神。
快点儿！ 扫清六合，
行动如一。 有使命。
Said I wonder if these cities just surrender. Just does require general of the victory predict. Yeah, I think it's probably be more like a, you know, if you have attrition on there, and then maybe like it seems like that would make sense. You know, like if they're down and they just have, you know, like 15% left on their troops, maybe you could do it. So it's like a, you know, if you're playing like a very reasonable campaign, you know, where you don't want to expose the people of a city to danger, right? So you always besiege down a settlement or whatever, which I think could be quite interesting if it functioned. Because a lot of ways that force you to play slower actually can be very interesting, in my opinion.
请下命令，静以养神。
坚如盾牌，势如利刃。
And they, you know, they're certainly going through it. I'm not fighting them on the river. I'm not trying to auto-resolve this off. But if they want to come up and do whatever they're doing, I'm going to allow them to. See if I have time to watch a very long total because you're sure his pacifist Kongrong campaign is basically that. It does sound interesting. We're not doing this battle. It doesn't matter. Oh no, he got her. Han Minhui, you know, who was really, you know, she was real special to us. Totally knew her name. Oh, that was the one back there. Well, I guess we'll lose both of these forces. Look, we're just not spending any time fighting these battles that I don't care about. I'm glad Wu's doing well for themselves. I mean, I'm not, but... I win the game? Okay, I guess maybe the other emperor losing their seat gave me the victory. Because they're paying me tribute, so that's like basically like them being in my alliance. But yeah. Well, it's a little underwhelming, isn't it? We're gonna keep on going for a little bit. No. Yeah, we unite all of China. We get all of the missions completed. Yeah.
准备就绪。尽情厮杀。乱军终于得以平息。
快去！我们还有什么可说的？
And we demand tribute from Cao Pi.
有话不妨直说。
And we demand tribute from Wu.
如此并无不妥。
Which will let us, very next turn, move in here and take the Emperor's seat. And that will be... Oh. I'm like, why? Oh, because we had a move clicked on one of their places. Yep. And that's what we'll do, you know. Now they have no choice but to pay us. We did it. We united China against the terrible Nanman influence. They want to give us a contract? No, I don't think so. Technically, we have... Oh, yeah, because they're all paying us, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, literally everything is Mirror Tributary, or the Yellow Turban Rebellion, which we can... get to join the Empire. Good news. Everything is our faction. Oh yeah, and we just got over 1 million. For the love of money, indeed. Gotta make that money, man. That money, man, is still the same now. Glorious. Well, I guess we don't have to take the Emperor's seat there. I mean, we're going to. But for right now, we've achieved it, you know. Mainly just because that was the plan. What a campaign. The Yellow Turbans hold the Isle. Makes sense. And now we can watch it back to ourselves by paying tribute and filled in 2 million yards. Yep. Amazing. Tribute taken before expenditures. Oh, wow. Yeah, then he will be in trouble, huh? This is so many armies, and, well, we know it's going to be pretty hard for him to make some money here. And, of course, with the Yellow Turbans being in my empire, now he wouldn't even be moving to take it back from him. Hard knock life. But go with me on a journey, if you will. Before we move down and auto-resolve that, let's take a look at how this went. Technically, buy out the map at this point was not the anyway. Yeah, you know, like as far as I'm concerned, we won. You know, and you know, as far as the game's concerned, we won too. So let's watch as it goes. I'm like, you know, no, that's not, we don't. We begin in the spring of 200. With no land at all. We're in here. And, you know, just trying to make our way through We don't have anything. Why is it giving me these? Oh, because they are dead now. And I'm like, what's going on there? Anyway. Wei moves all through there. And here we finally, I'm like, when did we even get up to the north? In 209. In 209 we finally took our first land here in the north. In 221 we finally took the first province. 7 years later, we took Wu Wei. And then we fought for 3 or 4 years just there on the frontiers. And then in 235, we moved. And of course, the lady died right here. And then between 237, so that's when we would have taken the Emperor's seat, like right there, and then we just turned it all up. Yeah, look at the cycles of these years. Right there, next year, eat up all of that, and then all of that. Beautiful.
拿起武器。我们的智略更胜一筹。
Show us so much kind of fun turns. Yeah, you know, it,
枝芽新生，茁壮
when we tipped up all of those armies, you know, it really just, that's all you need, you know. It takes a long time to walk, but if you can afford 15 armies.
我所言是为不足而计。 我方同意了。
It's all better now. So that's actually perfect, right? Because we kicked them out of the Empress. It's like, look, your presumption is not appreciated, and I do not permit it. And then they immediately go back to being a tributary state. Perfection. So now they're so afraid of me that they'll likely spend all of their efforts trying to go to the non. I'm honestly quite interested to just, like, see how long they can pay their armies, right? Because he was already very broke, but I guess maybe now, you know, maybe now he'll do better. Oh, Shuhan, that's right. They're not a vassal tributary state, are they? Well, if their master was vassalized, but I think they might have broke off anyway. I'm like, maybe that's what's keeping me from supremacy. But can our vassals even fight each other? Well, I guess it wouldn't have... The tribute thing isn't like pure vassalage. It's more just like conceptual, like they pay us, right? Because... yeah, they can absolutely still fight each other, so perfect. No, they are the vassals of Wei, so they pay Wei and Wei pays me. Yeah, I guess, you know. I guess without me to hurt them, maybe they'll just move into Nonman. Maybe take over Shu, you know. Who knows? What a good run. What a good run. We were set for all three of the victory conditions as soon as the Emperor's seat fell to a vassal of ours. Which I guess we might have been able to, once we could have got a tribute from them earlier in the war, that would have got us the victory. But I mean, it's much better to take the Emperor's seats away, isn't it? It is.
全力奋战。
Man, it's gonna be hard to going back to playing this game for real after having, like, unbreakable elite infantry.
不杀此等贼人，天理不容。
But anyway, one more intern, and then we're gonna call it 237 turns. It's like, yeah, without me, it looks like... You know, they could finally focus on the yellow turban menace. Sean hates to be slightly less than everyone else. Yep, you know, they're very reasonable. After all, they're not paying me directly. Yeah, so I guess the formidable forces of Wei would move up into Nan, which would be like, you know, awful for them. It would take forever. How do they pay their troops? You know, and other questions. I'm so worried about how he's going to afford to pay his troops. Anyway. Yeah. It took 27 years to rank up to Bandit. And then 11 years to become a raider, 2 years to become a bandit leader past that, and then just another 4 to become bandit king. We hold the seats of empire. The notable characters, Shifu, Zhang Zhuehui, and of course, Zhang Jiang. Loyal servant, the bandit queen herself, the Empress. All that we do is for her. We did it. We did it. I beat the hardest campaign. Well, on hard. I didn't really beat it, you know. But we did it. Yeah, you know, we're not taking away the joy of victory. It took a while. It was worth it. He lives to be 71, you know, when we put him as the faction leader, I was like, what are we going to do after that? But, yeah. Zhengsheng is Zhubei, and Fajing is Zhuge Liang. You know, that was the exact same thing that I was thinking with how this dynamic played out. Only Kongmi won this time. Exactly, yeah, you know, it's like, he saw, you know, different dynamics, but it's like, you know, because he came all the way up here to lose, and then alone, among basically all of the Han, he said, this lady, she's got the mojo. She can make it work. She's going to make it happen. And then, you know, now look at him. He's like, oh, and now look at me. Rich, a millionaire, emperor 3 times over, with a loving wife who's pretty good at fighting with the sword. and 4 wonderful children. We got a couple of Zhengs in here. No, she wouldn't reincarnate there. We're going to... assign the heir there, and of course the previous heir, she acknowledges that her time in fighting is finished up. And accordingly, she shall minister the original capital here at Chen. Or rather, at Suofeng. Even better. She's going to say, you know, I'm just going to go home with the axes. And that'll do it. I mean, just wow. That's game. It's Supremacy of Tai. We did it. You know, we sure did it. $305 active characters. 259 characters left of the faction, you know. Most of them I made leave. 91 million population. Had 100 million under our control at the most. Deals broken by others, 276. I only broke 19. If you think about it, I'm the reliable one. We made 173k in payments overall and received 1.5 million. Beautiful. $300,000 soldiers lost against us, 114k of our own down. Just good stuff. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, this was a disaster campaign, and now look at it. A glorious victory. Just the best campaign I've probably ever had in any Total War. I thought hope was lost. Because we really did have a very Liu Bei sort of start to the campaign, right? Broke, running from place to place, trying to work for somebody just to save our skin, desperately thinking that if we could just have our shot, that everything would work out and we would deserve it. And being right. I mean, look at it. 25 years to take Shuofeng. And now look at us. Wonderful. Wonderful. The greatest victory of my whole life. For all of that time of saying we didn't deserve to run China, we very clearly do. And we proved it right here. Man, oh man, what a good campaign. You know, I didn't play it right, but we pulled it all out. We had, like, a few really awesome battles, a couple very clutch battles in the early and mid runs, you know, before we really got the war churning, where we weren't going to be able to recover if we had lost, but, you know, we got it all done. And, yeah. Disaster campaign, totally saved, turned around for the love of money. We end up rich with everything we could ever want. Total dominance. And the entire Middle Kingdom as a tributary state or our own land. Just as good as it ever gets. Love it. What a run. What a ride. You know, what a satisfying game. I only wish we had remembered to get a husband for the Empress way earlier or at all, you know, because that would have, you know, obviously if we would have had our own children there in, you know, 20 years in to be leading these armies, that would have been so much more engaging for the story, but it was still just super awesome. We're not going to make that mistake again. Some good final battles with Wei at the end. Oh yeah, you know, like, to start out the video, we had, like, a good, like, triple stack going on. We had a couple really, really big ones, and some solid defenses. We had a defense of a minor settlement against Nanmen. It said usually when a campaign stalls, it's hard, it gets a bit boring to finish. Yeah, I was worried about that, but being able to macro up all those armies and being favored in, like, most of the auto-resolves, or at least a lot of them, it really simplified it, you know, just push, push, push. But also, I mean, I was like, when I look down there and you see, like, 12 armies, you know that you're going to get to brawl, you know, even though we totally could have fought the last 8 or whatever. I didn't see a good way to fight them. Like, in the river, you don't even get to fight on boats. But anyway, that's all we got right now. I'm going to take a little break. And, see what else we're doing with the day. I think we might not play any more Total War today. But I think we'll try a, look, we'll either play Wei or Wu. I'm not sure which. But, I think we'll probably... If we fast forward a bunch, they'll get a bunch of new letters, so then we can fight them again. Yeah, I think we'll probably play Wu. I think that's probably what we'll do. It'll put us in a different part of the map. It'll put us with that cavalry focus. It'll give me access to Sun Ren, and we'll just... It'll be great. Say, Peggy and Princess Fun to see, I didn't get that one, actually, but I will keep it in mind. I've heard, you know, mixed reviews about it, but I figured I would get the ones that had higher reviews and try out all of those. But yeah, Sunsea's a great campaign. Yeah, so, you know, we'll do that, and then, you know, we'll have access to the dramatis persona of Wu, which can be very engaging characters. You know, a lot of interesting stuff going on down there, and probably do the you know, the normal start date there. So we've jumped around a bit now. We've done all of them, yeah, because we did a mandate campaign with the Yellow Turbans. Liu Bei, of course, was our very first one, which, you know, eventually we'll do another one of those, or another 5 of those, but I definitely wanna check out the other stuff, you know. Yeah. Probably Sun Tzu, probably. The Sun family, they're like... They claim to be related to the very famous Sun Tzu, right? But they may or may not be. I forget. Okay, because Sun Tzu doesn't take over until the faction until a little later. Saying 190 is more boring. Because Sun Tzu, that would be like a 194, or you could do a 200, I guess, but it would probably be Sun Chuan by then. Well, no. I don't know my timeline that well. Why don't we make it click?
汉统衰落，豪强董卓已暴失数年。曹操汉统衰落，豪强并起。曹操
唯有扫清六合，天下才能平定。
孙策子
This
承
is just
父
like
业
this is such a great
满怀雄心壮志，
a great
立
setup
誓
of
要为孙
dudes.
家闯荡出一片天地。
我必须守卫故土。
严白虎，
今日尊荣皆是征战所得。
静以养神，正气如火，熊熊不息。
孙策子承父业，满怀雄心壮志，立誓要为孙家
Yeah, because this is the one that we played with Lu Bu, right? Yeah. But yeah, we'll do it. Got the Tiger Guard. They seem pretty good. We're gonna have, you know, depending on my vanity, I can declare it against Ryun Shu. It's really his turn too. Well, you know, I do hate working for people.
曹操与袁绍备军黄河两岸，试图一决雌雄之时，孙策则决意将江东纳入旗下。
Merc units are immediately full whenever you recruit them, right? Yeah. 100% charge bonus for Cav and 50% melee damage for shot Cav. Yeah, we'll definitely have some fun with that.
孙策、子成、曹操与袁绍，孙策、子成父业，满怀雄心壮志，立誓要为孙家
You treat them
闯
in
荡
replace
出
with
一
something
片
else
天
for it.
地。
Oh, right, because with normal replenishment, you would have all those turns, so you would just full turn one, swap it next turn, ready to roll when you get the movement on the army. Nice, very nice indeed. Anyway, though, perfection. Maybe I'll take a nap. Maybe I'll lay down and watch some Total War. Oh. Nice. I thought the swaps took a turn. Anyway, though. Alright, that's all I got for you right now. See you, Luke. Sam and Shrew. Goodbye to Michael. Later, Liam, if you're still around. Hope you all enjoyed. What a ride. This was a true disaster campaign, and then it became a true triumph. And I even got people to pay me tribute by the end. You know, we were joking earlier in the campaign about how that mechanic was totally useless because no one was ever going to pay me. And then the Naaman bankrolled that whole war. You know, I think we would have just had enough money, even if they hadn't. But it certainly gave me total freedom to build all those armies up, right? Like, I might have had to be a little sketchier about what I did without that. But anyway, good stuff. What a wonderful world. Wonder what I'll do later. Maybe play some more Hades. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, see you guys.